microphone in front of people, and I realized, and I didn't realize I couldn't say this word until the live. I'm on a microphone. It was like I said slow to say it correctly. Participation. I kept saying participation, and then it ain't.
Okay.
I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Right, I'm on the microphone. Like, what am I saying? So I said, hold on, let me stop saying that word. Just going to say involved with or. Yeah, but that's one word, and anything with the HU, the huh, humiliate, humble, humiliate, all those words, man. Human, it bothers me. I cannot say it, so I just say humility, human, stuff like that. So anything with a hard huh, I take the H off and just say humans to mankind. Humility.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, most people. There's simple words we just struggle with. Another one is spaghetti. Or anything with an SP, sp. I always would say pusketti. It'd be like this. I'll say pusketti. Yeah, so I'm only saying it to say that you're normal. You don't have, you have the same issue that we all have. Because maybe...
Well, actually, my speech, I used to stutter. I went through speech therapy.
It's interesting. I don't know too many women who actually stutter.
You said what?
I never met too many women in all my life because I stutter. I never met too many women that actually stutter.
Yeah. I went to speech therapy. I was told that when I was a young child, I wouldn't talk. I would point and my sister would speak for me.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. And then they found out I had a speech impediment.
So how did they work with you? Like, what did they do? What's some practices?
But what I remember in school, because I started very young, what do I remember about it? When I got to school, a speech pathologist would come and work with me, and my thing was I had to slow down.
Yeah.
Because I get excited and I talk too fast.
Here, same.
Stuttering would come
same
out
here.
Too fast.
Same here.
And
yeah, when I get excited,
like with certain words.
When I get excited, hyper, and usually coffee could do that to you sometimes. Or sometimes, if I wake up in the morning, let's say if I ate a pie, like bean pie, before any food, I can't do that because I will get very that sugar rush, and then you're gonna talk a lot, and then that stutter is gonna be right there, worse than it's ever been. Yeah, so I agree. So I only ask that question because I see that this is the problem with. Again, mostly men. Like I could run off 20 men. You could to your or 40 men to 100 men to your one woman. So but a lot of these people don't go to. I know I didn't, and I just one thing about me is that I'm a perfectionist, and I was just like, it gotta be a way where I can stop stuttering because if I read, there's no stutter. I'm like, how's that possible? If I talk. I'm talking about if I read anything, I never stutter when I read. That was never a problem. I had friends who stutter when they talk. My oldest brother, stutter when he talks, stutter when he reads, all that stuff. So I'm like, it got to be something because when I read, I don't stutter. So I picked that up as a freshman in high school. I'm like, wow, so I said, got to be me then. It got to be mental. Like, what am I doing? So I just naturally slowed down. But guess what? Your name is Ytyyah. Guess what, Ytyyah? When I think I'm slow, I'm still fast talking.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So I think I'm talking slow, but when I play back the recording or whatever, I'm talking fast still, or just normal.
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm talking slow.
Yes. Oh, it's Ytyyah.
Ytyyah, got it.
Remember with the Y, it's more of a E sound like Ytyyah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah.
Ytyyah. I got it. It's two. It's Ytyyah and then it's Yah.
Yes, and so as you're getting stuff put together, so tell me a little bit about yourself. As you're putting your stuff together.
Yeah. So I am. I know I sound like I'm a young stallion, but I'm 46, birthday December 15th.
Oh, God, you do so young.
Yeah.
And you 46?
Yeah, and I always...
I thought you was a baby. Okay.
Yeah, I always look... Yeah, listen, in person is even worse, okay? I never could date a woman my age, right? Because if I talk to you, my age, you would think I'm younger than you, and I don't get the time of day. You know, I mean, I had women say, no, before I open my mouth, no, you too young, you too young. I'm like, yeah, we the same age. So the only women I could date my age, I had to go to school with or work with, so they knew how old I was. But if I'm just cold walking up on a woman, nah. Like I get all type of ranges of ages. Like I'm talking about now. I had 20-year-olds say I look like 28. I had some say just a shot under 40. But I get it all. But nobody ever, one or two people ever guessed my actual age. But yeah, and so I talk young. I got a young spirit and I got a young look. I got a young image, like my actual physical face is like 10 years younger than what I actually am. Okay, and that kind of runs to my family. I got some uncles like that. Not all my uncles, just some of their age.
Okay. And just to let you know, we're the same age then.
Okay. Yes.
It's very rare we people my same age. I mean, people around my age. You know what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters.
Right.
Okay. So what else? Keep going.
So now, the fact I got a young spirit was because I realized that everybody, especially men, I could only speak for men. I'm a man. I got men friends, you know. So I know that men, whatever they grew up on in their 20s, right, and that they liked a lot, 20s to 30s, they usually get stuck there in their 40s and 50s. Okay, they get stuck. They get time warped. Music, clothing, language, all that stuff. They become unrelatable to the youth. Okay, and matter of fact, they become this. What word I want to use? They be unpleased with the youth because they're different and they think it got to be their way. And I tell those same dudes, I'm like, yo, do you know people 15, 20 years older than you don't like? They think you should do it their way, right? So each genre, each era believes that their way is the original way. So, but they don't understand things evolve. It's supposed to change and get better with time. Language, styles, looks, everything's supposed to evolve, right? If you don't evolve, you're stuck. And in the modern world, we'll call you primitive. It's not a bad word. That's just reality. Like if you're still washing up in a lake, right? When you can go ahead and just move. You know, I'm saying hypothetically. Let's say we lived in one city in Africa where they wash up in lakes. They wash up in lakes, and just around the corner, they move to this village. They got running water. And you still stay with the lake, you're primitive. That's not a sly or slur to say you're a monkey. No, you're actually primitive. We're way away from washing up in lakes with all those dangerous bacteria in there. That bacteria in there.
Yeah, but if you notice now, people are going back to those ways for a reason.
Yeah, but guess what?
What?
There's just one thing that they're not going to run from. That's bacteria. I don't care who you pray to, bacteria is going to get you every time. And all these third world countries, they die the most just from water. Diarrhea comes from water, right? Because it's called a fecal disease. When you don't have good sanitation. Right. So these are fecal.
That's why you learn where to get your water from, like running streams and stuff like that, because you know that the water has been cleansed.
Right, but even with the teeth, right? They put fluoride in your water, not to kill you, not to make your pineal gland. You know, they do that to make your teeth strong. So if you look at people, even the Egyptians, everybody had weak teeth. Okay, fluoride strengthens your teeth. Now, too much fluoride, too much of anything will be dangerous. But with fluoride, it has to be a certain amount of fluoride before it becomes toxic. But fluoride actually strengthens your teeth. So
now that way I have to do more research on.
Yeah,
because
that's
the
a fact.
reason why I say that when you look at our people in the continent of Africa, their teeth are gorgeous, beautiful.
Yeah, but are they strong?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I have to do more research. But when I look at their teeth, I'm like, God, y'all teeth look better than ours.
Nah, it definitely does. But the thing about this, I see a lot of teeth be white. Me too. You know, I see it. But are they strong? That's one. And secondly, do we do? Do they drink coffee, eat Snickers? You know, all these things to discolor our teeth.
Yeah.
Because you'll see some. If you look at some models, white, black, Hispanic, they teeth be white as shit. So I'm like, damn, how do you? So obviously that, they have a certain lifestyle where beauty, like they make a living off beauty. So they're not going to, their diet is probably going to mirror, right, their image.
On the head.
Yeah.
The diet is really the most important thing if you want a strong teeth.
Yeah.
What I learned, even when the Most High took me through my journey, and diet was one of them, I gave up candies for a while, which was the best thing for my teeth. And then I began to understand what this nurse practitioner said to me years ago. She said, really, a candy bar is not healthy for anyone. Now I understand what she's talking about. Not only with the teeth, but those things elevate your blood sugar and your body got to work more hard and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's true. And this is why... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. This is why it's important for, like, women, especially single parent moms, to get their diet right. So, and I'm not saying, like, they got to necessarily, have the best diet for themselves, but they need to provide it for the kids, because your kid is going to eat what you eat. So if you have a kid and you're obese and you're eating chips, that kid don't want his lunch, the Lunchables. He wants the chips. He wants the donuts. She wants the donuts. And this, if you look at obesity in black people, it's ridiculous. Like I'm in Jersey, so we see a lot of people all the time. It's condensed and compacted, so we see people all the time. I'm telling you, every time I go to the store, just now when I got my coffee, every black woman I seen was, if not obese, out of shape, like overweight. And so what happens is, and that person was not born like that. Like these people grew up thin, like my sister's thin, and as an adult, they just chose to be less active, right, with their body, and they ate, and they gained the weight, and they became obese, right? I don't got a problem with that, because at least you made a decision for yourself as an adult to gain the weight and be obese. But the problem is when you have a kid, you're not giving that kid the same rights, the same liberty. You're feeding that kid what you eat now as an adult that got you big and fat. So now your daughter is 4 years old obese, 5 years old obese, 6 years old obese. And because if you look at women, little girls, they're just not as active as little boys. We would chase flies. We'll chase nothing. We'll act like there's something there and chase it just to run. Right. And then look at all our activities. It's all, centered around running. All of our games, freeze tag, all this stuff is running. So a woman feeding a man, we deal with the black society, just a lot of single mothers. So when we deal with our kids, the boys are kind of hard to be fat because they're into unfattening activities, right? Where you're going to drop some calories. But the girls, I challenge anybody. The girls, if you go, I used to tell my friends, I say, yo, when you look at black kids with the family, a boy and a girl, look at the boy, look at the girl. I said, you're going to see a thin boy most often and a overweight girl. And every time we go out, my friend, I say, look, I point it out. Because they're not as active. So that means they got to have a better diet than a boy who could just run it off.
Well, let's go a little deeper. Okay. I agree with you. I'll start with home. But what I learned about weight gain is a side effect to what's really going on. A person be dealing with depression.
Right, of course.
And because of that, that's why they put it on the weight.
Yeah, of course.
So when I look at weight, I have to find out what's going on with that person. Now, when the father was dealing with me, I was dealing with a health problem. And he told me, he spoke to me, he said, you have to learn how to eat my food or my herbs that I created.
Wait, let me ask you one question, because you said depression and weight gain. So more specifically, how does depression equals weight gain? How's that possible?
Okay. When one is depressed, you're not motivated to move, to do anything. You're in a slump. And for some people, what comforts them is food. If you notice that when you get stressed, when I was getting stressed, I would crave sodas bad.
You see, so I was going to ask you this. I was waiting for you to say it. Yeah, you crave food. You got bananas. You got avocado. You got all these different types of foods out there.
But it's nothing like a soda. When you
see?
I'm trying to tell you. But what I'm saying is you have to get to the underlying root to fix the side effect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I will say to that is this.
And then too, what else I learned, hormones, water intake, your bowel movement patterns. There's a lot of things that affect weight. So I'm saying, especially for women, when we go through the changes.
But now you said soda. Now for some people that's not even an option. So when they have depression, they're going to eat the foods that they grew up on, that they're more comfortable with. So soda would already have been part of your diet before depression for you to cling onto that.
But it'd be worse. It's like an addiction. You go over. And remember, when you're depressed, I'm telling you from my own experience, I didn't have like major weight gain, but when you deal with depression, you don't want to get up.
I understand that.
You don't want to deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so when you look
but what's
weight,
depressing people? What's depressing
it's
people?
different things.
Like what?
Well, I'm saying
because the depression can be subjective. Like you got some people that let's say if your lottery number not coming out, that could depress you. If you've been playing lottery for a whole year and you can't win $1, you be like, oh my God, I can't get no money, and that's depression.
For me, when I was losing control of things and at that time didn't have understanding, that's when I went into a slump. I couldn't figure out why I was losing everything. And then
like what? Like tangible things you're talking about?
Everything.
So
in my journey, what I was saying, I'm going to share this with you. In my journey, I went through homelessness. I lost custody of my child.
What age are homeless?
Let me see. I was in my 30s, early 30s at that time. And with my child, lost custody of my child. And I should not have lost custody of my child, but it was allowed. I'm just giving you highlights because the law with it. And then jobless, no vehicle, everything. Like I said, I went to the low. Then I found out why later on.
And
a prophetess prophesied over my sister and my life. And this is what was told. She said, she's going to fall greatly. But when she rises up, she's going to be a woman of God.
Okay.
Some things are by our Father Divine Will, because my family know me. I'm very good with money. Very good. I don't make foolish decisions. I don't make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So, as I'm saying, you have to, with each case, you have to find out, why is this happening? Why is this person getting the result? And it's a spiritual thing. That's why I tell people depression is real. If you ever experience it, it is real. And what I found that broke that spirit of depression was that living word. When I began to walk in the path that I was supposed to walk on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying with you. A lot of times we look on the physical, like, we just look on the outer and we think one thing. But then when the spirit of wisdom comes upon you, you begin to realize it's more than one thing that a person can be dealing with or what you're seeing as the outer result. You understand?
Yep.
Okay. But okay, keep going with your life, as you put stuff together.
1 second. All right. All right. So you said the living word. So what's your background as far as religious institutions? Islam, Christianity, Catholicism.
Okay.
What started you out?
Oh, okay. Growing up, Christianity, which was known as our denomination, was Disciples of Christ.
Okay.
We was known as the congregation that do the feet washing and the eating of the bread and the drinking of the wine. But when my time we did the grape juice.
Mhm.
I can remember having church mothers, your trustees, your deacons, stuff like that. And our assembly will fellowship with other denominations because it was like, long as you follow the Bible, we can fellowship with you. So I knew of some of the Pentecostals, the Baptists, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, and you said so. Are you under the impression that you're an Israelite now?
Yes.
And
But my
what
awakening was
got
a
you?
lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But my awakening was a lot different. He took me in a different direction before he revealed that identity to me. hmm all my life, I've been a type to read the Bible for myself. And I would say that he already has sent people that prophesize and, that give me messages. But I would say when it started to heighten up, it was in 2003. Um, from that point, like I said, I was doing some things with my health, and he allowed me to meet a neuropathic doctor in 2004, and that's when I got introduced to the Leviticus diet and Deuteronomy diet. Okay. As time went on, he told me about my hair, like taking the chemicals out, and one thing led to another. He told me about the holidays. I even found a church online that gave a ton of free information, even with the Father's holy days. But at that time, I was just coming out of partaking in the pagan holidays. Okay. It was like he was building me. And then I saw certain things in the Bible when I would start to read the Bible, like when they would sacrifice their children to Baal and stuff like that. So then as time went on, he would send his prophets to send me a message. And I remember one of the messages he had sent would say, stop running from him because I was the type, I didn't play church. If I wasn't right, I'm not going to be in the church house. And then that prophetic message I shared with you about how he said I would fall greatly, but when I rise up, I would be a woman of God. I didn't really understand what that means, but when I got that message, I began to understand why I was homeless, why I couldn't work, why depression was on me, why I lost custody of my child. I was in a very low state
Mm.
where he had my full attention. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I began to watch, like a lot of YouTube, because that's what you do when you're depressed. You just lay in bed, just
Right.
watch whatever on your device. And I came across an educational video telling us who we are. It started with the islands like Jamaica and all those islands and giving you the history. But when I heard Deuteronomy 28 being read, I instantly cried because, like I said, I was been the type to read the Bible, which reminded me of the time when I was a young child. When when I read the book of Exodus, I said, them people sound like us. Even as a young child, because the 400 years of captivity, I'm like, they sound like us. And even now, and then when I heard that video, it's like everything everything connected. I finally got the big picture. Um, so from that point, um, I did let my family know what I believe. At the time, they didn't understand me. I knew I couldn't go to any pastor to get more understanding. So we began to watch a lot of the camp videos at that time. We just watched everything. We didn't really join any assemblies at that time, but we just began to watch a lot of their videos. So as time go on, the Father was giving me dreams, warning me about, certain assemblies. Now, hold on. Hello, little one. How are you? Okay. So at that time, he would send me dreams, and then I would come across other Israelites who didn't have the same beliefs as those camps, especially when it comes to the Gentiles receiving salvation. So I want to summarize that whole period of what I was going through.
Yeah.
During that whole time, I just reread the Word. I got a copy of that 1611. I read the word. Things was connecting. I said, I was understanding it, And then I began to see the camps or what they were following was not all true and correct. They have some truth, but not 100% truth. And then I began to understand the dreams that he was giving me. Now I began to understand why I couldn't join any assembly or any camp because I would not fit in.
Mm.
Because
and
when you
what was
walk by
sticking
the
out?
Spirit, well, for me, I walk by the Spirit. And I'm the type, I'm going to speak up for what's right and wrong. And I'm so thankful that the Most High I'm so thankful that the Most High kept me from those camps and assemblies because no telling what they were done to me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like sisters and brothers who, shalom, hi y'all, shalom,
Right.
that would prophesize and letting me know about my journey, my walk, my office unto the Most High. And one of the things was that I would begin to teach spiritual things, preach spiritual things. Now, one thing I learned about my father, he don't give it to you all at once. He always gives you in parts. Like one of the dreams I had, he showed me preaching, Another dream, he let me know where I am unto him. I heard his voice in that dream. And I am a prophetess unto him. That is my office in the body. Just recently, another prophet told me that I should have been in ministry a long time ago. So, I'm getting more understanding what is my assignment to him because I owe him my life. He saved me physically as well spiritually. Okay? So for me, I'm not going to fit in. Now, I understand why I'm not going to fit in. I'm of that remnant. Okay? So, let me see. I had, as far as the identity part, it came in 2014. Okay? And since 2014, I've been walking in the full truth, And I tell people that this awakening cannot be stopped because it's by the Spirit of God. I've seen how they tried to, but it's not working. It's still growing, Unfortunately, why my brothers and sisters are awakened to who they are, they still not understanding the Messiah instructions. They still not understanding these spiritual things, okay? In a way, they kind of walking in the footsteps of our ancestors, making their mistakes, okay? But we understand this because the prophet tells us right now he's going to deal with the remnant. And then the rest he's going to bring in later. Because only the remnant is going to fully understand what is really going on. Whether you are
and
Israelite
that's a small section of the whole of Israel, right? The remnant.
Well, no. When I say remnant, Israelite and Gentile, the righteous.
Okay, so there's righteous overall. Got you.
Yes.
So what's the difference between what's the difference between an Israelite and a Gentile, like in Christ? Well, what's the difference?
With a Gentile, it's basically dealing that because you come from another tribe, another nation. For the Israelite, we come from our father Jacob. That's the difference.
Wait, say that one more time. Wait, say that again.
Okay. For a Gentile, they come from another tribe, another nation.
Got you.
For the Israelite, we come from Jacob, who was named Israel. That's the only difference. But let's go deeper. Let's go back to the beginning. We are Adam, and people don't understand who Adam is. And when you understand that, do you understand what the Messiah restored back unto us, whether you are Israelite or whether you are Gentile? So I won't ask you this because, and then I don't, if you're not, put like this, if you're not comfortable answering the question, just let me know. Okay.
Go ahead.
Who is Adam? Who is he?
Adam is the son of God.
The son of God. So what's done in heaven is done in earth. And we are made in what? Their image. And a lot of people don't get that. That's what we lost. We lost what? Being the son of God. So the Messiah, who is the second Adam, restored that back unto us. We're just waiting for the final step when he comes back. Do you see it? Or what I'm saying? Before the fall, before our foreparents fall, we was the Son of God, the Son of Yah, in their image. Okay? I do preach about the three groups because, like I said, when you begin to study the prophecies and you begin to study what Messiah says, there's three groups, and there's different inheritance. You have the bride of the Messiah, that's made up of Israelites, Gentiles, male, female, circumcised, uncircumcised, etc. All who receive the salvation of Yah, the righteousness of Yah, which is Yahushua Mashiach, are of his bride. We are married unto him. We are joined unto him. We are bound unto him spiritually. Then the second group is the 144. They are only Israelite. They have a special assignment with the Messiah to take down the fourth beast kingdom, which you can read about in Revelation 7, 14, and 15. Then the last group is the nation of Israel. For what he say unto them, what? He has to give them a new heart and new spirit. That is the group he's going to bring into the earthly wilderness. That is the place that they would dwell in a city without walls. He's going to again sanctify them. He's going to dedicate them. And that's when the tent tabernacle will be brought back, but only for a short period of time. I tell people read Jeremiah chapter 3 and 2 Maccabees chapter 2 to understand that.
Second Maccabees is Apocrypha, right?
Yes. And do you not know that the archaeologists, the archaeologists found some silver coins proving that the book of Maccabees is true in Israel.
Really? Okay, so let's talk about what drew me to you, right? It was your video.
Okay.
Remember?
I'm trying to remember which video.
Revelation 1 and 14.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've seen that slightly different than you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me just read it real fast. Let me pull it up, the online version. We can discuss that. Come on. KJV. And do you when you read the Bible, is it a specific version? Does it have to be King James or?
I like the 1611, and I've been telling people to get the 1611,
you like the old,
and it's for a reason.
Tell me.
It has the precept. It has the side note. It has even some Hebraic words. There's a lot of hidden things that's in that book that would be revealed unto you that's not in any other translation of the King James.
Such as what?
Mm-hmm.
If you can name one thing.
For example, I'm trying to think what's the most important thing, but when you said the Apocrypha, it has the history of the Apocrypha and how the Protestants took it out. It also has the side notes, how it references itself to the work of Josephus, and Josephus does reference to the Apocrypha. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm at Revelations chapter 1. I'll read verse 13. It says, "And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man," right? So anyway, when we go to verse 14, I just want to read that to see who we're talking about, Son of Man. So when it says verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So when you read that, what's your understanding on that?
It's telling you what he looked like.
Physically, or just what he, because most people say this is his glorified form. It's not his like physical,
He's
earthly.
The second Adam, is he not?
Right,
Just
but
like
this right here, no, you're right about that. He's definitely second Adam. But if you go to verse, let me see. if you go to verse, right, for 1, 10, it says, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet. So he's hearing a voice, and then the voice said, I'm the Alpha Omega, the first and last. And, he said, what you see right in the book. And then verse 12 says, and I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, right? So he's looking at 7 golden candlesticks. Gold is a certain color, right? It could be a bright yellow. And then if it's a candlestick, you have fire there as well. So you got gold and fire. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks.
Just to clarify to the audience, what is the candlestick?
The candlestick, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what the candlestick is.
It's the menorah. If you have that 6 and 11, it will reference to, and you go to Revelation 11, it has the word candlestick. It reference back to, make sure I got the right prophet, Zechariah, chapter 4. That's the candlestick. The menorah. The menorah. The
menorah.
Branches. Yes.
Okay.
Because remember, during that time, the Israelites' candlestick was a menorah, and we didn't have wax candle. We used olive oil. Olive oil makes the brightest fire.
Right. Yeah. So exactly. So this is dealing with fire. So when it says his head and his hairs are white like wool, as white as snow, so it's describing snow, right? White. So it's focusing on white, right? Because when you see an eclipse, that's very bright, and it's a white background when it's done. And like most explosions, if you take a picture of it, when the explosion is done, you'll see like a white glow. And this is why it says his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And then it's, because it's saying white like wool, because wool of a lamb. Go ahead. So, so a wool of a lamb is white.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
When you explain that part with the head, let's pause that, and then I can take you to the verses you need to go. Let's do one little bit at a time. So we start with the head.
Right.
Okay. I'm just waiting on you.
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
Okay. Remember, I said you have to go back to the beginning, before the fall, right?
Right.
The first Adam. Were we not made in their image?
Yeah,
so the second Adam is showing you, I'm going to build it up.
Right.
The second Adam is showing you what's going to be restored back unto us.
So when you say made in an image, can you explain that? You say made in an image.
Where did we get our looks? How did the Father know how to make us with 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, and a body? You know what I'm saying? It comes from them. We're made in their image. We made what they look like. Just like when we have our children, has the image of us.
So you're saying God created God. I'm sorry. You're saying God created Adam in the image of Himself.
Yes.
Which is
before the fall.
So is God a spirit, or is He a human, like arm, legs, and head?
This is where people are getting confused. He's a spirit, but remember when Moshe was speaking in Exodus, and he said, I want to see you. And he said, well, I'm going to cover you, but he saw a body. Did he not in the book of Exodus?
What, let me get that.
Okay.
Let me get that. Exodus. Okay, hold on. Let's see. And I think this is it. So, and they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone, as it were the body of heaven in its clearness. You're not talking about that, are you?
Because I remember that he covered Moshe with his hand. Remember, he said hand, and he saw a body that go past him.
Hold on. Let me
Okay.
just get
I
that.
want to help you find it. Yeah, okay. We both work together, help finding it,
Yeah.
okay? Hold on, I got cut on the light. I can see.
Shoot, that hand. Oh, my God. Well, let me say this. The hand thing could be, the hand thing is, it could be literal or it could be symbolic. For example, if you go to Exodus chapter 3, it says, and I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. So we know that Egyptians never had a, yeah, so we know that Egyptians never had a big, I'm talking about that word hand. So we know the Egyptians never had a hand binding Israel, right? I mean, yeah, Israel. So the hand, I'm not saying your hand is symbolic, but hand can be symbolic. So I would like to see your verse to determine. Yeah, because in verse 20, he said, "I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof."
Who is that hand?
Right.
Who
So,
is
but
that hand? But it's speaking of a deep spiritual thing. But right now, let's take it one step at a time. Let's go to the part when Moshe was talking to him, and Moshe requests to see him. And
what verse
it literally
is that?
said that he, that's what I'm saying. We're going to find that together, okay?
Yeah.
So bear with me.
I'm looking too. Let me go to the top. Let me go to the top. Tippy top. And it's going to all tie back to
I found it.
Revelation.
It's in Exodus chapter 33.
Right.
And okay, yep, it's there. We'll start with verse, let's see, verse 20. But that whole good chapter to read, with me, I like reading the whole chapters, but for the sake of time, verse 20 on down to 23.
All right, hold on. Let me get there with you. Okay.
And if you have the 6 and 11, I have the chapter summary, for it says this in the chapter summary. Yahuwah refuses to go as he... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You want me to wait?
I'm here.
Okay. Yahuwah refuses to go as he had promised with the people. The people murmured.
Wait, this is verse 30? I mean, you said verse 20?
No, the chapter summary. In the 6 and 11, I have the chapter summary.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yahuwah refuses to go as he had promised with the people. The people murmured thereat. The tabernacle is removed out of the camp. Yahuwah talketh familiarly with Moshe or Moses. Moses desired to see the glory of Yahuwah.
The glory.
So start with verse 20, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay. And he said, "Thou canst see my face, for there shall no man see me and live." And the Lord said, "Behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock, and it shall come to pass while my glory passeth by. And I will put thee in a cliff of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away my hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen."
Yeah. So he has a face.
Well,
do we not have a face?
This, again, when he says face, hand, as I point out, hand is in the Egyptian's hand, God's hand. I will smite you with my hand. That's symbolic. And it says my glory. What does that mean?
Okay. We're going to get deeper into that. I want to explain the glory too, because when you understand the first Adam and how we're made in their image, do you understand that glory?
So, are you familiar with? So, are you okay? So, in Genesis, right? Are you familiar with the book of Genesis?
Yes,
Right. So, Jacob wrestled an angel, correct?
he did.
But he said he wrestled with God.
Yes.
So, did he wrestle with God or an angel?
Do you not know that angels come in the Father's name?
Now I got you, but just like okay, if you own a business, let's say you serve pies, and I was a delivery boy, I would have your name brand on my shirt. So although Ron is delivering a pie, it's really it's really sister's brand. Okay, but so although I'm doing a delivering, I'm really doing a delivering, but if something goes wrong, you get the blame. But you didn't deliver the pie. So when Jacob wrestled the angel, even though the angel stands before God in the presence of God to deliver the message, the angel's not God. So when he's wrestling the
Do
angel,
not all things come from the Most High Yah?
right? But what I'm saying
the
is,
Most High Yah manifest Himself through anything?
yeah, but
Cannot he show himself through anything?
Yeah,
Did
but
he not show himself through his son, who is called Emmanuel? That means God with me.
Yeah, of course. But when he sends an angel down, there's a differentiation.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it now. Yahushua HaMashiach is known as Emmanuel, God with me. Saying that the Most High can manifest or show himself through his son.
Well,
so
if
why
you think
can't
about
he
this,
not show himself through the angels?
No, look,
when they all bear his name.
No, of course. Like, you just said it.
Okay.
He could show himself through a rock, but that doesn't mean the rock is God. That just means that the rock.
But Emmanuel says what? God with
right.
me.
Now listen. When he had Moses, so let's go back to Exodus. So when he had Moses in Exodus represent him, did you know that he said Moses will act as God and Aaron will be his prophet?
Yeah, because there's many what? There's many gods and there's many lords.
Look, what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about many. I'm talking about he represented the God of Israel. Moses represented the God of Israel. So that means God took a step back and he let Moses represent or reflect him. But that doesn't mean but nobody mixes up Moses as being God. So the same thing with an angel. When an angel represents God, even though
they do that with the Messiah, many people get the Messiah. They represent him as
some scriptures.
God.
Now I can see why they do that because there are some scriptures that can really
that
almost
say that
put
he is a God.
Jesus in God.
Yes.
No, but not just a God.
Gods.
No, I'm not talking about many gods. We understand the idol gods. We're not talking about those. We're talking about
no. What I'm saying is when we say gods, what does it mean in the Hebraic language? See, this is where people are getting things confused, or because when you just look in the English language, it can mean many things, but the Hebraic language make it clear. A God can be someone who can judge, who can lead. Okay, some gods, according to the Most High, would give them the powers to create.
Can the idol god can
power? Wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But the only God that he gave the ability to bring back life or to give life is his son. His son has that only power.
So, wait. So the prophet Elijah didn't bring back somebody from death?
I forgot about that. What I'm saying is he gives them certain, thank you for the correction. But what I'm saying is only the Father can give that person or his son that authority, those powers.
Of course.
And we're getting back on the subject of being gods. A lot of people don't understand.
But he also gives Satan those same. But he also gives Satan those same powers, correct?
Of course.
Right.
Of course, Satan has powers too.
Right, but nobody can. Okay, so my point is this: just because God empowered you, it doesn't mean we need.
But
we need to now.
Out of gods, right? You did say out of gods. You did.
Wait, what? Oh, me?
Yes, you said out of
I can't speak it. No, you're saying out of gods. I'm speaking of God plural, singular. You're saying God singular. So what verse was out of what verse you're
This is
speaking to?
why the Ten Commandments tell thou shalt have no other God before me, because there's none else like
Right.
him.
But he's talking about idols.
He lives in the bodies of Israel. There's many gods. Even he had turned the other nation over to those principalities.
Hold on.
You can read the book of Daniel and look at.
Wait. There's not other gods. Those guys you're talking about.
Are we not called gods ourselves?
Hold on.
Did not Messiah say we are gods ourselves?
Let me just respond to one thing. Let me just respond to one thing.
Let me just say this last thing. I think you are getting the definition of God confused, and you're not understanding what I'm saying unto you.
Now, I no, you actually explained it, right? I listened, and I was just responding, and I was saying that there are no other gods because these are men fashioning things as an image, and then a man is calling it God. So it's his imagination. The golden calf, all these different things.
There are angels that men are worshiping. Where do you think they get their powers from? Where do you think how they're able to craft sorcery and witchcraft? They worship the angels, the hosts of heaven.
Which person had sorcery and witchcraft?
That's in the book of Acts.
Okay, so remember? Now look. You're talking about the brother who was tricking. It's called magic. He was tricking people.
But actually, he was flying over too, and that's during the ancient times.
No,
can we go to that verse?
Yeah, I'll do it right now because I'm gonna tell you right now that brother is accounted for tricking people, faking it, and then he ended up believing in being baptized himself.
But remember, that's
so I know that verse very well.
No modern time.
Yeah,
it said he was flying over, right?
Okay, so let's get that.
Am I right?
Nah, well, you might be right, but I don't recall that. But let me just get it. Let's just get it. Right. So I'm not gonna say you're wrong because I can't say I got the best memory on that part. But I do know that he was busted, right, with his fake magic.
Well, you have to understand, where do the children of darkness get their powers? I mean, their powers are real.
They don't have any powers.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to show me, you got to read that to me where they got powers.
Oh, my goodness. You don't see what's going on now in this world?
I see fakers. I see fakers. Yeah, like they don't convince me. Like how the Bible, those people were convinced, and then he got busted. Okay, so for me, these powers you're talking about are fake. They're made to look like it's something that is not. Same thing with Pharaoh. When Pharaoh's doing the whole rod thing with Moses.
Oh, so you say that was fake?
Yeah.
Then you definitely read Hebrews chapter 11 what Moshe saw.
Okay, so let me first go to.
Okay, but we're going to take it one step at a time.
Yeah. Let me first go to that guy so I can show you what I'm talking about. Because, so now I remember. Okay, we're talking about Acts chapter 8, okay, verse 9. It says, "But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery and bewitched the people of Samaria. He was giving out that himself was some great one," right? That's how he's presenting himself. "To whom they all have given heed, from the least to the greatest, saying, this man is the great power of God." Right? So he bewitched them. That means tricked. So then it says, Simon himself believed also, and when he was baptized, he continued with Philip and wonder, beholding the miracles and signs which were done. So now he witnessed the real miracles and signs that was done by Jesus.
So you're saying that the dark magic, that witches and sorcerers are not real?
Not fake.
Well, why did in Torah that the father said burn a witch at the stake?
Because
it's real.
Okay, right. So you asked the question. That's because those men were wicked, and those men would call anybody a witch. Like, for example, the visions you have right now. Do you know wicked Israelites would call you a witch? Right? Wait.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Again,
am I correct?
Like I'm trying to tell you.
Am I correct?
It's in the book of Torah that we would have dreams.
No, but I'm saying
prophets we would have dreams and visions.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying today, if you go to one of those camps and you go to those camps and you say you got visions, what would those men say about you?
They would say the same thing what they did to the Messiah.
Right. They'll call you a witch, right?
They probably would.
Right.
But I know where my source.
No, yeah.
I know where my gifts come from.
Look, I'm not.
But
it's
what
not
I'm
about
trying
you.
to tell you, what I'm trying to tell you is there is power in Satan.
Can you read it for me?
And the only thing that can come against that, can I finish? Let me just finish.
Yeah.
The only thing that can come against that is Yahushua HaMashiach. You cannot defeat Satan by yourself, not in the flesh. For you have not been fully restored as Adam.
I think you're mixing up Satan and sin. You could defeat Satan in the flesh. You cannot defeat sin in the flesh.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, you're speaking English, right? I'm comprehending your words very clearly.
What is Adam? What is Adam?
A man.
And you just said it, the Son of God.
Right.
Right? Even the Messiah said that we are what? God.
The sons of God.
Now,
no. The Messiah said we're sons of God.
No, Messiah said ye are God. That's in the book of Psalms.
No. He was quoted in Psalms 82 and 6, right? But if you read that in context, I get that for you. I get that for you. Now, I know this book.
The makeup of Adam before the fall is not about knowing the book; it's understanding the spiritual things and what was lost.
Well,
and
if you understand,
have to come back and redeem.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is this: when I hear people say there's black magic and all this sorcery in the Bible, I just ask them to read it, and they can't. It's not in the Bible because it's fake.
We just read it in Acts, and we just
it talks
about witches.
No.
Talks about sorcery.
See, now you're not
in the book of
Justice, you keep saying you keep saying I don't understand what you're saying, but you're clearly not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying when the Bible mentions these things, it mentions it as fake, false, not the real thing. Illusions. He bewitched them. It said the word bewitched.
Then how explain that even in this time we seeing people getting sick?
Getting what?
That perform sorcery, that perform witchcraft, casting spells.
That's fake.
How is that possible?
Okay, have you seen those commercials where the guy was in a wheelchair and he couldn't walk, and the guy sprinkled some holy water on him and he got up and started walking?
I'm not talking about. Okay, well,
you don't do that, do you?
I'm talking about. Okay, wait a minute. I'm talking about witchcraft and sorcery, because in my family history, which is true, it exists, and the only thing that can save you is Yah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't accept that.
Because you have no powers. You have no powers until you become Adam.
Well, actually, no. It's when you become one with Christ. Adam was fallible. Adam was fallible. I mean, now you can't read that.
I'm talking about until you become Adam.
The second Adam?
Before the fall. And that's what the second Adam restored unto you.
No, but even the first Adam.
What is the makeup of Adam? What is the makeup of Adam before the fall?
Flesh and blood. Flesh and blood.
Oh, my goodness. Let me go ahead and give it to you.
Yeah.
The body that came from the earth.
Okay.
The soul that came from the breath of Yah. And the Most High plant his spirit in him, which made him the Son of God. The same criteria that makes us the sons and daughters of God. Romans chapter 8. Think on it.
There's nothing to think on. The first Adam was fallible. The second Adam.
I'm talking about before the fall.
I know.
You gotta understand what took place.
No, I got it.
He said we made him in our image.
Right.
So Adam looked just like them.
Right. So, but you're focused on looks. What I'm saying is that.
Oh my goodness! You just missed it. You
Yeah,
just missed
I
it.
missed that one because you're focused on looks. What I'm saying,
Okay.
what I'm saying
Let
is,
me help
look,
you out.
wait, before you help me out,
Let me help you out.
wait, before you do that, can I get some
Okay.
words in first? Because you're dominating
Okay.
the
Go
conversation.
ahead.
Okay, so the fact that Adam could disobey God, the fact that he can actually do it, shows you he's fallible compared to the second
And
Adam.
why? What
who
did
was
he lack
infallible.
that was different from the second Adam? What did
It-
he lack that was
he
different
lacked
from the second
discipline.
Adam?
That's what he lacked. Because he said, "Don't eat
No.
of the knowledge, tree of knowledge of good and evil." Okay, tell me, because that's called discipline. Tell me. What
If
did
you
he lack?
understand the second Adam, then you understand why the first Adam failed.
Okay, tell me. I'm open.
Okay? Go to the prophet Isaiah chapter 11. Because remember, the Messiah, according to the book of Revelation, contains the seven spirits or the seven eyes of Yah.
Oh, shit. So I'm going to read Prophet Isaiah to explain Adam.
Okay. Well, yeah. Isaiah chapter 11.
All right. Let's see where you're going with this.
To understand the second Adam. I'm talking about the second Adam now.
Yeah, I want to know about the first Adam.
Because if you understand the second Adam, then you understand the first Adam.
I understand the second Adam. I realized that he was more disciplined. When God said to go where he go and abstain from certain things, he did that.
Because he contained the seven eyes, which is the seven spirits of Yah that you read in the book.
All right, so you agree with me. The first Adam lacked that, right? Did the first Adam have that?
What are the seven eyes and seven spirits first?
That's an alien.
Understand that. Okay, you saying what is written in the book of Revelation that pertains to Messiah, of him having the seven eyes, which are the seven spirits.
I'm here. You said Isaiah chapter what? Isaiah chapter what?
11.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter 11.
Verse what?
Starting with the first verse. I'm getting there now.
The rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out.
No, not that.
Okay.
Let me hold on. Let me get that first so I can see what you're reading first.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 11. I'm there.
Okay. I'll read from verse 1 down to verse 3.
Okay, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of the Lord.
So that way the audience will know who you're talking about. So who's that talking about in that first verse?
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, and the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. And shall make him the fear of the Lord.
Go back. Okay.
The Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. That's verse 2. Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And shall make him of a quick understanding in the fear of the Lord, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
Do you see it?
No.
The difference between the first Adam and the second Adam, he didn't fear the Most High. If he had feared him, he would not broke that commandment. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just like now, we don't
wait. But why would, if Adam was created indestructible, fear is something he can't even fathom.
Adam was created to be an eternal being.
Right. So what? Okay. Look. Listen to the word fear. Every species, whether it's an insect, an animal, amphibian, whatever it is, human, we only fear death and injury, bodily harm. That's what spooks us out the most. When babies cry and they jump, that's because they think they're going to be harmed. When a cat runs from you and scratch you, it's because, so humans and species, we fear harm and bodily harm and death. How would Adam,
so that's your definition of death?
Let me just finish.
Fear. Go ahead. I'm just asking what's your definition of fear.
Because I can read to you, people fear the Lord because they fear his wrath, his consequences of their sin, of their bad So let me get you case in point, and then you can go. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you Genesis. All right. Watch this. I'm going to explain this fear stuff because Adam was created immortal. Death wasn't even a concept for Adam. It wasn't until he sinned where God said, "Okay, you're going to die now." But before then, death was unknown to Adam. So so you couldn't make him afraid of death. So people are afraid of the Lord mainly because the Lord can take your life. All right. So case in point, watch this. I'm gonna bring you to Genesis chapter 38. Let me just pull up the scripture. Okay, let me prove my point. Genesis 38. It says, and it came to. No, I'm gonna go to verse.
What verse? Okay.
Yeah. So let me get you to. Let me get you. Okay, let's go to verse 2. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua, and he took her and went into her, and she conceived and bare a son and called his name Right, so let's skip, because he had other kids. Let's skip to verse 6. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. So Judah gave his son, his firstborn the woman Tamar to wife. And and Judah's firstborn was wicked. So was wicked in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord slew him. See, so the biggest fear is death. Now watch this. And Judah said unto Onan, his second son, go into your brother's wife and marry her and raise up a seed to your brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass when he went to his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother. The Lord was displeased, and the Lord killed him. Now, the third brother. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah, my youngest son, be grown. For he said, lest preventure he die also. So he was afraid because 2 of his sons are dead. And he believes he's over his woman. So he's afraid his third son is going to die too. So he told her, let him get a little older before you take you as his wife, because he's afraid he's going to die. So it was the fear of death that made Judah not give his youngest son to Tamar. So when people fear the Lord, they fear the death of the Lord. And the Lord threatened everybody. He tells everybody, do this or you shall surely die.
Okay, when we go back to that verse and then we go to Genesis, because he told that to Adam, you know that, right?
Yeah, but Adam didn't know what death meant, because death was not something that's ever happened when Adam was existing. So what these other people seen death, like for example, Judah just seen his son die, and then he sees his other son die. So he seen that. So you can't threaten somebody something that they have no knowledge of, because it's not a threat. If I tell you, if I say, sister, if you don't put that donut back in that box, something's going to happen. That something could be anything. And especially if I say something that doesn't make sense to you. If you don't put that donut back in that box, shabba-ba-ba-ba will get you. You'd be like, what the hell is that? So when he told Adam, lest you die, Adam like, what is death? I'm created immortal. I don't know what death is.
That don't say that in the scripture.
Okay, watch
what
this.
You just said, don't say that in the scripture.
I got you. Well, that's called.
Okay.
I got you. So when we talk about reading comprehension, that's called when any person, any language reads anything. Because reading is a form of literacy. When we read anything, you're supposed to gather the information from the text. Sometimes it's just plain, like Jack and Jill up the hill, and other times you got to search for clues that you can give you the answer. So all of us, if you speak English in America, all of us took HSPT or some type of reading exam to show that we're competent. We can read. Okay. So when you do that, there are skills that you must exercise. You must point out, right? But there's lack of better words. There's skills that you must demonstrate. There you go. You must demonstrate for you to be seen as somebody who has a good comprehension, that you can read and understand what you're reading. So
anyway, you can see that that's within between, right?
Right. So therefore, the
so
answer.
That just gave me proof of what I was saying to you about.
Okay, so let me just say the last part. The last part comes from my reading comprehension. So that tells you that everything you read don't have to say it word for word. You can actually put things together, and you can get the clues, and then get what the message, the hidden message, is in those texts. That's also called reading comprehension, and that's above elementary kids. Elementary kids can only read what's in front of them. Elementary kids are going to struggle.
You said that.
Elementary kids are going to struggle gathering the. Just listen. The elementary kids are going to struggle gathering the clues to get an answer. They could only get the answer because it's in front of them. They can't gather clues for the answer. But as we get older and as we become more educated, we are able to gather the clues to come up with an answer, and the answer is indeed the answer. So what I just said about Adam, you don't have to say it verbatim. You can read the story, gather the clues, and then conclude. And the conclusion is right. Adam had no concept of death. So you can't threaten Adam with death when he doesn't know what death is. Okay. Don't eat of this tree of good and knowledge and evil unless you die. He's like, what the hell is death? What is die? So you ate it. Like, I don't know what die is. Let me eat this fruit. What the hell God talking about? Let me eat this fruit.
Well, I'm thanking you for saying that, because what I've been sharing with you, because remember you was asking about the sorcery and the witchcraft. What did they say?
Right.
When you read the whole Bible book, that's what you gather, and that's what you gather, right? Saying, unto you, that's what the Spirit. That's what the Father been teaching me, and then too with my family history, there's things you don't know that I know.
Okay.
That I know that what is real. Okay. Because remember, I have certain experiences.
Right.
Okay. All right. Then the next thing is what I was saying about the first Adam, the second Adam. But only the Spirit of Yah can reveal that unto you what's that in between. So thank you for confirming that. But getting back to Adam, whether he understood it or not, it was told to him, and he didn't fear it.
Well, you can't fear death if you have no
like I said,
knowledge
he didn't
of it.
Fear it, right?
Well, he wasn't supposed to.
So,
he wasn't supposed to.
But he didn't fear it.
Well, he wasn't. I don't blame him. He wasn't supposed to.
Because you just said that he had no knowledge of it. So according to what you're saying, if he had no knowledge of it, how can he fear it?
Right. So that was.
So therefore, he didn't fear what our Father said in heaven unto him.
But how can anybody? I got you. Since you want to bring up personal experiences, if you're grown up in Chicago, where people hardly get locked up for hard crimes, murder and selling drugs and all type of stuff, those young men are not going to fear the consequences of their actions because they don't see it. They don't see that consequence too often. They don't see that too many of their friends getting locked up for murder or selling drugs or robbery. They don't see it. So when you don't see it, it's hard to fear it. It's hard to abstain from it and take it serious. So as a mother, you can say all day to that guy, hey man, you're going to die. Or be in jail, or all these things will happen to you. But he doesn't see it happening to his friends. Like, well, Mom, I got 7 friends who's doing everything you say that I'm going to go to jail or die over, and they're still alive. So he can't fear your words. There's no example of it. So for Adam to fear death, there needs to be an example of death.
Okay, but each child is different. Some fear what their parents say and don't even attempt to do it. And then you got some children hard-headed and got to see for themselves.
So are you saying that God?
Okay.
Are you saying Jesus feared the Lord?
Yes. We just read it in Isaiah 11.
No, you read a prophecy. I'm talking about when Jesus actually walked. Did Jesus?
That's a prophecy.
Right, I got you right. It's prophecies can say one thing, but the actual actions are not.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
We got the new covenant that will back up what the prophet Isaiah said, because he feared the Father, because he said, I'm not here to do my will. I'm here to do my Father's will. That means that he was not going to step out of line with the Father.
You call that fear? I just call that being disciplined. Yeah, I don't look at I teach kids. I teach elementary kids. So when they have the correct discipline, I don't think they fear me. They just believe me. They just believe what I'm saying is correct, and then they see the positive results of it, and that encourages them to keep listening. But they're not afraid of me; they're just disciplined. So I don't see that as Jesus was fearing the Lord.
The Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and that's what the Messiah had about him too, wisdom.
Yeah, yeah, you might want to gather clues for that, but we definitely gonna be able to read that verbatim.
That's in the gospel too.
But we could actually read where other people said they feared the Lord. Like it comes out their mouth.
And you don't think the second Adam gonna be the first example of that? Who was created in the heavens?
I just don't think it makes sense for Jesus to fear the Lord. I just don't think it makes sense. That's just personal. That's my personal opinion.
Hold on for 1 second.
Yeah.
I may have to answer this call. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought up Moses, because I want to go back to Exodus real fast.
Okay, but Exodus, just to clarify, can you repeat back what you said to me, because you was giving me your your belief, on.
I don't think it's necessary for Jesus to fear the Lord.
Okay.
It was nothing to be fearful of. I think he's like the first Adam, where like fear is not even a concept in his mind. So I'll give you a case in point. So when you go to Exodus, I think that's why I believe it's called, from my studies and my research, when it calls Adam and the first Adam and second Adam, like these are exempt from other things. Like for one, Adam was born with no parents. Jesus was born with one parent. Like you don't find that anywhere else. And then you got from Adam's birth, people suffered from Adam's birth. From Jesus' birth, people rejoiced. So there's no other people in the Bible who would have that type of influence on the world. Where
now
their
we
mistake,
rejoice.
Right.
Now,
so let me just get you Exodus.
No, I just want to say you were saying that we rejoice.
Right.
But those, he said, would deny thyself and take up thy cross and follow me. We too are going through afflictions, because whatever the master went through, we shall go through, because we're not greater than the master.
Right. Affliction. So Exodus chapter 1. And this is verse 1. So, the Israelites multiplied. Verse 7 says, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Okay. So now a new king rose up, which Joseph never knew. Joseph, who was sold in bondage, son from Jacob. And he said to his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. So this is the new king. So then he commanded, it says, verse 13 says, and the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, because they were growing, because he felt they were growing and they were becoming mighty. And he said that they should have bitter lives, serving with hard bondage. Okay? And they should serve with rigor. So then verse 15, verse 16, he said, when you do office of a midwife to the Hebrew woman and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, you should keep that girl alive. But the midwives feared God, fearing death, fearing a consequence of their actions, and did as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men also. So when you fear God, you're fearing death itself. Jesus didn't fear death; he conquered death, and Adam never knew death. So for me, that's why I
because
said
he had the spirit. Okay, let's go back to Isaiah. You have to understand what was upon the Messiah.
Okay.
Remember, all things were taught unto the Messiah in heaven by our Father. That's in John 8. And he is that living word. The words that we read on this paper, that's him.
Okay. I just don't see the fear thing from Adam. I don't see what necessary Adam used to fear.
Okay. So, we was talking about Revelations, chapter 1, verse 14, with the head being white.
Right.
And to really understand that, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. So when it says head, so now it talks about his head and his hairs were all white. Again, that's just bright, very, very bright. That means that he describing how he appears to him. So he's not going to have eyes. That's why if you look at he's not going to have eyes in the nose and the mouth because he doesn't see anything. He just see a glowing head, like the what's that in the comic books? The guy with the skull with the fire on his head. What's that guy name? The comic book's name. He had the skull with fire on top of his head. Oh my God, my comic book game is terrible. Okay, so let me just get you Revelation chapter 1 again, verses 14. So it said, you said this is describing Jesus. So it says his head and his hairs. That means his entire head and his hairs, all this entire head were white like wool, right? And his eyes were as a flame of fire. So we're talking about bright, bright, bright in fire. And then it says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they've been burned in a furnace. What does that mean to you?
What that means to me?
Yeah.
To understand that the scripture I just said before, he's the second Adam, is he not? He also saw that same glory unto them, his disciples, when we read the gospel, right? We can agree to that.
And he was very bright again, right?
Okay. We can also see that same glory being expressed in the days of Moshe when he conversed with them. And he came off the mountain and he was so bright.
Yeah.
They had to put a veil over him, right?
Yeah.
Now remember, Moses was in the flesh, right?
Yeah.
And he had that glory that came from heaven above upon him, right?
Yeah. So all you looking at is fire.
When you understand,
looking at brightness and fire.
But Moses was in the flesh. Notice that when you say it was fire, it would have burned the flesh, right? But
No.
It didn't burn
No. You don't know about Exodus chapter 3.
No.
Because the bush did not burn, right? The bush didn't burn, did it?
Well, I'm saying Moses was in the flesh, a corruptible body, right?
No.
Remember, we was in our fallen state.
But the bush is also corruptible. But the fire that the Lord comes out with doesn't consume.
I'm using that as an example because we're not in our holy bodies yet, right?
You don't need to be, because when God comes down with the fire, it never consumes things, and that's why the burning bush was burning.
Wait a minute.
It wasn't consumed.
Wait a minute. Remember the sacrifice they made, and fire came from heaven above, and it consumed the sacrifice, right?
Okay.
Talking about with Elijah. Remember?
Right. So that's fire from heaven.
And he would pour water. Yes. But I'm just saying is Moses was in an incorruptible. Moses was in a corruptible body. Forgive me for that. Okay?
So you got to watch it.
Okay. I'm trying to take you to a deeper level.
That might be sorcery.
No. How's that sorcery when I'm telling you, when you understand the first Adam before he fell, then you understand the second Adam, then you understand what's be restored unto you. But to understand that, we have to go back to the Hebraic language. Right?
Yeah, but should we always go back?
His hair was white.
But no.
To understand why his hair was white.
Wait. And what book? Well, we already know why. We already know why, because it tells us that he looks like brass being burned.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We are not, are we not in our creator image, right? The second Adam bears the creator image, right? Okay. So we have to go back to the Hebraic language to understand why his head was white, so white. And I love your,
but
no, I love your example because you said it was a bright glow, right? That's what you said, right?
Like
okay, so I love that.
like brass being burned in fire.
Real bright, so bright that when you look at pure snow, it's so bright it even glimmers, right? Like you know how like crystals do, like a shine.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. So we have to go back to the Hebrew language to understand what is that telling us, right?
Wait, before we go to why would we go to Hebrew over a Greek expression?
Because the Hebrew language would give you a clear definition what that means.
No, okay, so let me tell you why I say that. Because in Hebrew, there's two words for virgin. You got betula, you got alma. But in Greek, there's only one word for virgin. But this verse
I'm going to pertains to the Messiah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the Old Testament is written in Hebrew. So what we can't do is we can't see like, for example, the word seed in the Old Testament, I think is like zera in Hebrew, but in Greek is sperma. Okay, but they mean totally different things. I mean, so let
me give you this example why you have to do this. Go to 1 John chapter 1. Go to 1 John chapter 1.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
Verse 41. Let me tell you why you have to do this. Okay. So you can understand, because let's go back to the definition of God, trying to understand what the God means.
What chapter, John? You said 4?
What I'm saying? John chapter 1, verse 41.
Oh, I think you said 1 John.
John chapter 1, verse 41.
Okay. All right, we're here.
Okay. I want you to read it out loud for your audience.
He first findeth his own brother Simon, and said unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ. And he brought him.
Okay. Okay, now I'm going to read what the 1611 had. Let's see here. It says here, he first findeth his own brother Simon, excuse my tongue, y'all, and saith unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ, right? Now, when we look at that verse, Messiah is the Greek word for what English word? Now, if you don't know, I can take you to the Old Testament so you can see where it comes from.
Well, English would be Messiah. And we can see that in the book of Daniel, right? Chapter 9. Well, let's do it. And we're going to go to the Hebrew, correct? Or are we going to see the word Messiah?
I'm talking about like the English word. Like for me, when I was doing research on this word, Messiah, I said, Messiah? Then I, doing my studies, found the Greek word. But when I go in the Old Testament in English, I see the word Messiah.
Okay, so now, right. Also, Isaiah, that word is Isaiah in the Old Testament, but the New Testament is Isaiah with an A-S. Same thing with Elijah.
That's the Greek word.
Right. So
that's the Greek word. What I'm saying is, so what I'm saying to you is when you begin to study language, I'm not an expert, but I do know this. When you go from the Hebrew, there's, not going to say all times, there's a Greek word, based on transliteration, and then there's Old English, and then you have modern English. So from the Hebrew to the Greek, I forgot this part, to the Latin, which is Roman, you have Old English, and then you have English. So you can go back and forth to understand the correct definition.
No, you cannot. Not to get to, okay. So now
you cannot, when it's talking about the verse that I'm going to take you to is talking about the Messiah.
I got you. Let me help you out.
The verse that I'm going to take you to is talking about the Messiah.
I got you. Let me help you out. Okay, so the Old Testament, everybody, their mother knows that is written in Hebrew, the original language, and the New Testament is written in Greek. Okay, so when the Greeks got a copy of their own Bible, they had the Old Testament translated in their native tongue, which is Greek. Just like, so now the entire Bible was in Greek, right? And they had a Greek interpretation of the Bible so that they can read it, because only the scholars can read Hebrew. The same thing with us in America. We don't speak Greek or Hebrew. So, and for us to read,
we have the resources.
Now, of course, but you're missing my point. You're missing my point. My point is today we can read the entire Bible in plain English. We don't have to know Greek or Hebrew, and we can read the Bible. The Greeks.
Then why did my 1611 go back to some Hebrew words?
Why do you keep doing that? Because that's not the modern English. That's why. So, and matter of fact,
so let me take you to Hosea.
Now look, I don't even know where you keep going so far and out the way. I don't know.
No, I'm gonna give you an example. There are some Hebrew words. There are some Hebrew words in the Bible.
Elijah is what's that? Hebrew or
and you were saying that we don't have to know what the Hebrew words are, but there are Hebrew words throughout the Bible, right?
Listen. When Isaiah 7:14 says, "Behold, a virgin shall give birth," that word "virgin," don't you think it's important to understand in Hebrew what that means?
Of course, that's why we have the strong concordance.
Okay, right. But hold on. Before you go too far with your understanding, your powers, why is it important for English person?
My powers?
Yeah. So why is it important for English person to understand what that virgin word means in Hebrew, not English?
So you can get the correct word. You can get the correct definition of that word.
What would an English person? Wait. You go too far.
Could be different. No, I'm just saying the English definition.
I'm going to ask you that question. Don't jump too far. Relax.
Okay.
I'm
just saying.
Okay, but I'm going to ask you that question. I'm going to ask you that question. You're jumping too ahead. You're jumping too far. You're jumping ahead. Okay. So the word virgin, when an English person reads that, what definition comes to their mind?
A woman that didn't have sex. That's what we
got
think.
Got it. Right. No, well, that's the only definition of virgin an English person knows. We don't know another definition. We hear the word virgin, we think of a woman who never had sex. That's how us modern English people understand the word virgin. Okay. So now, in the Bible, we would think that Isaiah was prophesying of a woman who never had sex. So it's important to understand the Hebrew at that point, because then you know the word is Alma, and that's not the same how we would think. So now English-speaking people will say, "Oh,
you just confirm what I've been telling you. We have to go back to the Hebrew language to understand what the new covenant or the new marriage is telling us. We have to. Was it not translated from Hebrew to Greek?
So why are you translating Hebrew and Greek? You need to translate words that were original.
Because as a link, remember I told you when you deal with translation,
that's not
we
why.
Look at the history of things from Hebrew to Greek to Latin to Old English to English.
Yeah, but if you want to know
the Living Word says that the old bear witness to the new as the new bear witness to the old. They go hand in hand. You cannot separate the two.
When you want to know the origins or the definitions of a language, right, you need to go to where the language first stated.
You start
something.
there, but then you trace back.
Okay,
even some of the Greek words you go into the strong concordance will go back either to an Aramaic word or to a Hebrew word.
Right, because now look, wait. That's because they were trying to translate it, and they were trying to.
That's what I'm saying to you.
I didn't even say that. I didn't even say anything.
The root?
You said, okay.
No, you just said that because they were trying to translate.
No, but you didn't let me get the last word out. See, when you talk, I listen to you. My talk, and then you say I'm not following you. You're clearly not following me because I can't get the word out. In the Greek, can you show me in the Greek, in the New Testament, can you show me Arabic words, Hebrew words in the Greek New Testament?
Oh, in the New Testament, like Abba, you have a different spelling, spelling of that. And I think in the strong concordance, when you look at that, it says an Aramaic word. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let me pull my stuff out.
What chapter and verse? What chapter and verse?
Abba?
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on.
What chapter and verse? Oh, boy.
Okay.
When he's on the cross, when Jesus on the cross. Is that
Well, that's one. But I'm looking at Romans 8:15 because you can see the English definition of Abba.
Okay.
Let me pull it up in the shop.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that. So Romans what?
8 verse 15.
All right. Oh boy.
You okay?
I got it. Yeah, no, I'm a little. My coffee's wearing down. Okay. So we're at. I like this verse for something else. Okay, so we're here. Okay, so the root of it is Aramaic origin. Right? Origin. Okay. All right. What? I guess this is how you say it. How do you say it in Aramaic?
Abba.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we give you press that pronunciation thing.
This it right here?
If you're using the Blue Letter Bible.org, they have a pronunciation.
Okay, I think I
say
see it right
Abba.
here. Right here. Okay. Wait, is this it? It means father. Abba means father. Okay, so I'm thinking this is it right here. One of these is it. Okay, so what was the point with this again?
Okay, what I'm saying to you, when you're dealing with transliteration, it has to come from the root. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, when I took you to John chapter 1, verse 41, we see a Greek word called Messiah. Now, meeting people, when they read that word, they may not know it's a Greek word until you start looking it up. And when you look it up, when you translate it to the English, it's Mashiach. I mean, not Mashiach, but Messiah. But when I go back to the Hebraic word for that Greek word, it's Mashiach. So what I'm saying is it relates to each other. There's an interlink. And this is what I'm sharing with you. You have to go back to the Old Testament.
No, it's not. Okay, so I get what's going on now. Okay, so if
transliteration, it's called transliteration. Like
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, I got you. Wait.
This is why.
Oh, okay. Let me know when you're done.
Okay, when you're dealing with transliteration and you're trying to understand what does this word mean or what does this scripture mean from the Hebrews, because remember, this word was given to the Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? Before it was published throughout the whole world. So what is the true definition? In other words, we got to get the Most High definition of what he's saying.
You mean the Hebrew definition, right?
Which the Hebrew language comes from the Most High. When you read the sacred books, it's the sacred language that our forefathers spoke.
Okay.
Yes. So this is why I'm sharing with you and your audience that you have to go back and the witness of this. Remember, because like Messiah said, there's many witnesses that bear truth to each other. So we have the Old Testament is the witness of the New Testament, and the New Testament is the witness of the Old Testament.
If you want, just in short, before you talk in circles, just in short. So when it says Abba, right, for a person in English or Latin or speak Greek, for them to understand Abba, they will have to go to the Hebrew, the Aramaic, correct?
Yes, to understand it. What does that really mean unto our Father in heaven?
Wait, before we get all spooky, but you got to first, to understand the word Abba correctly, the reader should go to the Hebrew or the Aramaic over the Greek, over the Latin, correct?
Yes. And here's the reason why. Remember the Messiah says this. He says that one of the instructions, he said, call no man father, right? Mm-hmm. But yet we got in the 10 Commandments, well, honor thy father, thy mother. So what was the Messiah saying? So when I went back to the Hebrew, I understand that father means someone that you follow, a leader, trader or whatever. But just like, for example, in the martial arts, what do they call their master?
Sensei.
Father. Because he was the creator of the martial arts. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I'm sharing with you and your audience to really understand what is the Most High definition. What is our Father saying unto us? We have to go back to the root.
So when
get a
Mary,
clear definition.
Right. So when Mary told Jesus, hey, we were looking for you, and Jesus in the temple talking to the experts, and they said, your Father is looking for you also. Does that mean creator?
Not for him. Like I said, when you go back to Hebraic definition, one of the definitions be your parent.
So Joseph was Jesus' parent?
Adopted father.
Okay, all right.
By Mary.
Okay.
Okay. So just like now we have physical witnesses. He said the heavens is a witness unto us and the earth is a witness unto us. They go hand in hand. So the spiritual go in hand with the carnal. Okay? So to understand that verse, Revelation 1:14, we have to go back to the old. When you understand the old, you understand the renewed. And then you're going to understand what's going to take place with you, my brother.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, you said Deuteronomy 28 is how you realized you was an Israelite, correct?
Yes, but wait a minute. Let's go back to Revelation 1:14 because I want to make sure you have that information.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Agree,
I'm done really.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Because it's not complete.
We're not really discussing it. We're going everywhere else, but dealing with it. All right.
Okay, but I was saying it's just not complete.
I asked your question. I read.
Okay, but wait a minute for your audience before we go to the other part.
Yeah, because
it's not complete, and I want your audience to understand. When you go back and study the first Adam makeup before the fall, now that's the key. Then you will understand the second Adam makeup, and then you will understand what Peter wrote unto us. We shall receive that crown of glory that should never fade away. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 4.
Great. So in order for black people in order for you to share with black people that they're Israelites, you have to show them that they're suffering from the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Is that the way it works?
I understand why you say black, but I like to use the word melanated.
Okay.
I also like to use tribes and nations, really tribes and nations. You know what I'm saying? But I understand why you're saying it.
Who's not melanated, by the way?
Huh?
What human being is not melanated?
Those who bear leprosy. They call it today albinism.
Who has leprosy? Yeah,
they have no.
But
no, I just said albinos that today they call albinos.
Right.
And they
Who is
have
called
no
albinos?
melanin whatsoever.
Wait, so are you telling me albinos don't have any melanin?
That's what I have seen in articles I read. I'm talking about those who are true 100%, like their eyes and their skin. They have no melanin whatsoever.
Wait, but isn't albino just albino? Like I didn't know a true and fake albino.
No.
Okay, so what's
you just asked me a question. Who has no melanin? I just told
and you said albinos,
albinos.
Right? Okay, so
yes.
Right, so hold on. So when I think of albinos, I know every race has albinos within them. So which one of those albinos got melanin and which ones don't?
You have to talk to, it's a case-by-case thing, because some albinos have melanin in their eyes. You ever seen some albinos? I think they had that pink reddish eye, and They have no melanin in their skin, and they.
Okay, so if they got any, okay, so what is an example of an albino with no melanin whatsoever?
From what I have seen now in the news, and I could tell people you have to do your research.
Right.
Some of them have no pigment in the eyes. I think they have like a pinkish it's a weird looking color. And their skin has no melanin to the point where they can't even go in the sun or they would burn.
And how many people like that exist on this earth?
I don't know the percentage, but I know there is.
Yeah, but it's probably one or two people, right? It's not a clan or a tribe of these people.
I don't know. Because I don't know the whole world, huh?
Right. But
I don't know the whole world.
Right. But have you ever in your life seen one of these people?
I have met some people who bear what they call.
I'm talking about with no melanin. No. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying the leopards, like you said, the person with no melanin whatsoever. How many of those people in your life have you ever come across?
Now, me, I haven't met not one.
Right.
Invisible.
Most of us never met those people. Right. Because they don't really exist like that.
Now,
one or two
I have met people who bear what's that thing they call it today.
Right, but I'm not talking about you talking about the Michael Jackson disease. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just
where till I go.
Right. I'm talking about just a flat out, because I said what people don't have melanin, and I think you know where I was going. Like all people are melanated, and then you said then you went to the exception of a handful of people exist on the entire earth that might not have no melanin
because
whatsoever.
You can't use the word all.
You can never. Well, actually, the Bible says all a lot, so we can use the word all. The Bible says everyone, all those type of absolute terms. So we can say all because the Bible says all.
I mean, I'm talking about today. Now,
right?
Is it correct to say all?
Okay, so I was trying to make a point about Israelites and you said melanin. That I'm saying. So now that we know, unless you're an albino, so I'm trying to establish something. Wait, let's just focus on one still, because we're still there.
Okay.
Because by you saying melanin, when I said black, I was clearly talking about a specific people. But you said melanated. So when you say melanated, now we're not talking about specific people. That's actually all people.
Because when you say black, I
got it.
Okay.
I understand. Listen, again, my comprehension is pretty good. So when you had a problem with black,
no. I'm just saying, I'm not demeaning your comprehension.
I got it. Right. I know you're not.
Why I prefer that word.
I know you're not, because it's clear. It's very clear my comprehension is good. Right. So anybody say otherwise, just probably don't have a good comprehension themselves. Right. So I understand what you're saying about the whole black and brown thing, the whole word soup. I got it. So you say melanated, that's also everybody except for the pure albino with no melanin. So that's really all races. That's Chinese, white, Hispanic. So all these people can be Israelites, correct? According to your melanated description.
But I also say tribes and nations.
Yeah, but each tribe and nation have albino people in them.
Okay. Now, this is where I'm getting at. The Bible says there are tribes and nations. Right? Now, in layman terms today, as far as the awakening goes, we associate the Israelites of those who be on the slave trade. And most of the time, that's going to be what your African Americans. That's what most people think, right?
I don't know why. Why would they think of slave trade? I was just slave trade. Why would they think of that?
Because you was bringing up Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to eventually going there. But I'm just saying,
I want to know what that got to do with slavery, slave ships.
Okay, so most of the time they're going to say Israel's going to say African Americans, right?
Well, why?
Or black people.
Okay? No, but why? I'm asking.
But wait a minute.
Actually, most people would not say that. Most people would not say that.
I'm just saying is what they hear on social media through the camps or through the Israelites. Now, what the Father's been teaching me, that there are nations and tribes, okay, since after the days of the flood, nations and tribes. Now, because of my history, I know I come from slaves, okay? But I also now, through the Bible and through history, is teaching that we have a nation, we have a tribe. So we are not a crayon color. Wait a minute.
No,
So
we're not talking about colors anymore. Right.
Okay.
We're not talking about. Nobody is. Nobody's a crayon color.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking in circles, but I'm trying to get to something concrete.
Wait a minute. Okay,
Yeah,
I know we're gonna get there, but can I just say this?
Yeah.
We're not a crayon color because when we pick up the crayons, right, and we look at the color black, we don't,
crayons.
we're just different shades of us, right? So as I began to do my research, I learned about melanin, and it's an awesome thing about melanin.
What's awesome about melanin?
It bears light. It can tolerate the light. It's a conductor of the light. Mysteries, right? It also gives us certain, like protection of the sun, prevention of aging. We learned that it is a gift from the Most High. It was given unto us.
So does a gorilla
have protection against the elements?
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on. Somewhat. Is a gorilla protected by the sun?
It has melanin in it, don't it?
Where?
Melanin give us the color.
No, I'm saying gorilla.
Learned that
what's the gorilla's color?
He's black, is he not?
No, he's pink white. No, his fur is black. A gorilla's pink white.
I don't know about that. I just know what I see on TV.
Right. Okay? You see a black, furry, pink white animal.
I don't see that. But let's
wait. When you look at his face,
I learned there's melanin in the face.
When you look at a gorilla's hand
in the waters.
Wait. You're
and there's
running.
melanin in the eyes.
I got you. I know.
Well, I'm trying to say
magical melanin. But what I'm saying is
what I'm saying is melanin is what gives color. It's everywhere.
Okay, fine. Listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I know you going to the magical melanin doctor. What I'm saying is a gorilla skin. Is a gorilla's skin melanated or just his fur?
I don't know because I only seen what I see on TV.
Right, and you see a white. Okay,
you
when you look at
that,
I got you. You're getting out of control. A gorilla's face, hands, and feet. What color are they? When you, like you said, when you see in nature, when you see a gorilla's, well, some gorilla's face can be black, right? Certain chimpanzees red, but listen to them, listen, because now I'm thinking back. I see some black faces and gorillas, but when some monkeys or some species or connection of the gorillas, their face is white, their hands are white, and their feet is white. They're not melanated. Their skin.
Okay.
Right. So what would be their issue since they're not dealing with melanin? They probably be an albino, right?
Well, we look at our hands, our feet isn't a different color from our skin.
Okay, so now that's what I'm trying to say. We're going to be talking backwards. So now when we go back to the Israelites, you mentioned Deuteronomy 28. You said slavery. Why would you mention slavery with Deuteronomy 28?
It's in there.
What does it say?
You know what it says. You already know those verses.
But you were so happy to go to different verses of the Bible. Why would you connect African slavery to Deuteronomy 28? I'm just curious.
That's part of one of the curses.
All right, so let me read this.
Did not the Israelite from the book of Judges all the way up, every time they were disobedient, they went into some type of slavery?
Right. So that prophecy was fulfilled. Because these people, okay, I'm gonna read it to you.
It's ongoing.
All right, so wait. Let's read the prophecy first before we say it's ongoing, because it might have never happened. If you're talking about African slavery, then we definitely don't fit the prophecy. We're the worst people to compare that prophecy to, and I'm explaining why.
That's your belief, but
no, I'm going to read it. No belief here. Remember, comprehension. If we can read exactly,
that's fine. But I'm saying that's your belief. But remember,
it's not a belief. It's not a belief.
The spirit of Yah is waking up His people.
Wait. Okay, I got you. Now that's a belief. Listen, if I'm reading the Bible where it says Moses was talking to a burning bush, that's not a belief. We're reading it. A belief is something you can't read. Okay, so now. Belief
is seeing that which not can be seen, right?
Okay.
Faith, which is go with faith.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got you. Now. This is Deuteronomy 28, and we are at 68. Okay. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. So we're going to Egypt again. This is talking about because we know the Israelites were in Egypt through Joseph the first time, and they were let out through Exodus. And he said, you're going to go back to that land that you were let out again. I don't know black people, because black people were already surrounded by the land of Egypt in West Africa. Like, so it's up, that's not too far. So that's North Africa. So now you don't need to take a ship to go from West Africa to North Africa. You can actually just walk up there. You can travel up there. All right. So he's talking about returning to Egypt again with ships. All right. So I mean, we were there the first time, and now we're going there again. So when were we there the first time, by the way? The Exodus, right?
You already answered the question.
Right, Exodus. So now we should go back again. So when did African Americans go back? Are we in the land of Egypt today?
Remember I told you got to study Hebrew?
Okay. So now, so we're gonna look at the word for Egypt in Hebrew. But this is most important. You
already gave the definition.
Wait, so this is more important though.
Bondage.
I got you. Wait, no. I got you. So do you know every time, when I say every time, I mean absolute, all. Every time the word house of bondage is mentioned in the Bible, that word Egypt is tied to it as a physical land. Every time. It's never separate. Okay. So we're talking about the physical land that the Israelites were let out of. Now listen 68. It says, you would go to Egypt again with ships, because you already been there. This is the second time. And it says, by the word I spake of thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondwomen, and no man should buy you. So this is basically saying you're going to try to sell yourself, but nobody wants to buy you because you're seen as damaged goods. You're seen as a cursed people. So that's the opposite with us.
Dude,
we were the most. We were. Listen what I'm saying. It's the Bible saying no. We're gonna try to sell each other, but nobody can want to buy us because we're damaged goods. We're seen as a cursed people by God. But that's the opposite. When black folks were for sale, everybody wanted to buy us. Well, at least all the white nations like, yo, bring them over here. Portuguese, bring them to England, bring them over here to Brazil. Everybody wanted it. So what happened to us was the opposite of the curses. The curses says nobody wanted to buy us because we're damaged good. We're cursed people of God. But when the slave chattel actually happened, everybody wanted us.
Okay. Do you have a dollar bill?
Yes, I do.
Open it up and turn it to the back side.
Oh, I don't have it on me. I deal with credit and debit. I ain't got a dollar bill on me. I don't keep cash on me.
Yeah, I have mine.
Yeah, because cash is filthy.
When you turn it to the back side,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do America have a pyramid on their currency?
You tell me. You probably know the answer to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Egypt. What was on the country that you know? Well, I'm going to say the only country, but we know Egypt built pyramids.
Right.
So why would this land over here want to put a pyramid on the dollar bill?
Why do you want to put an eagle on the dollar bill?
Oh, we're going to get to that too.
Symbolic.
I think.
Right. It is symbolism.
We know.
Why would he want to put a white man's face on the dollar? Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They follow the ways of the Egypt.
Who?
Why do you think they keep going over there?
Who?
And want to dig up the remains
Who?
Of the Egyptians.
Who?
Okay.
Who?
Why you think they were instant on how they kept the Hebrews
when you're saying
slaves?
when you're saying they, who is this they? What people you're talking about? You're using the pronoun.
What nation? What nation conquered this land?
Okay, so I see the French over there.
What nation?
Listen.
What nation? Like I said, nation. Also colonized Africa and Australia. Wouldn't that
be nations? It's not a nation. Like you said, it's different tribes and clans.
Well, according to today's language, they use pretty much one term to group all their countries together.
What?
What nation? I know you're very smart.
Yeah, but I never read the one nation under God thing. Or like, what nation are you speaking about?
Europeans. Did they not went out and conquer the world and colonize these lands?
Wait, hold on. So then you believe black people sold themselves to slavery?
Wait a minute. I said, did they not went out and conquer the world and colonize many lands?
All Europeans or just a small percentage?
Come on now.
I'm asking you.
Ancient history now. According to ancient history, did not the Europeans
well, that's not ancient history.
The world?
That's pretty recent. But I'm asking you this. Yeah, I'm asking you this. That's only 400 years ago.
Okay.
That's 600 years ago. That's not too far.
And we see evidence of that, not only in America, we see evidence of that in Australia, and we see evidence of that in Africa.
So where the Soviet Union, I got you. So where the Soviet Union, Russia, where the Russians are responsible of this, this conquering that you're speaking about.
Well, I have to go back and research all the different.
Right. So you can't lump up. My
because,
point
like
is,
you said,
no, but my point is, you can't lump
Europeans.
up.
Look up Europeans and see what countries
I got you.
make up Europeans.
No.
I'm saying I'm using their definition.
Okay.
I'm using their terms.
So let's use their definition. So
Europeans.
So did the Germans and did the Germans and the Romans live in a society together?
You still not understand what I'm saying. Based on today's language and their terms.
I don't know what today's language is when you talk about that, because today's language, we definitely group up.
You can look that up on Wikipedia. Look up type in the word Europeans to see what countries it's from.
Well, first of all, nobody calls white people Europeans. We call white people by, like you said, their clans and tribes. So if you're French,
today they say Europeans too.
No, nobody says that. Today we will say that
then
Italian.
What make up?
Excuse me, John Gotti.
Look at ancient history,
excuse me, I'm making a point.
When
real
you look
fast.
what I'm saying
John Gotti is called an Italian mob boss. He's not called a French or European mob boss.
What's that? United Nations. In the beginning, it was all European countries. In the beginning,
right. Okay. So now let me help you out.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
What I'm trying to tell you is.
Let me help you out a little bit. I'm talking
about in the past. I'm not talking about now.
I got you.
In the past.
So let me help you a little bit.
So they even use that word.
European. No. I'm going to help you out a little bit because you keep saying history. So that was during the when white folks was warned about religion. I forgot, it's the religious war that was going around in Germany. Okay, so when it was called a 40 Years' War. When that was done, that's when they formed a European nation. So after that 4-year religious war, that 40-year religious war, the European war, those people were called separate people warring. The Romans warring with the Germans. Everybody was warring with each other. After that, that's when they decided to form the European nation, right? Where they no longer will war about religion, right? But that's just what they called each other collectively.
Themselves. So I'm not using the word wrongly.
No, you are if you're trying to lump everybody up in one mission. When you're saying conquer the world, you need to be specific. The French did certain things. The Portuguese
I gave you proof. I said America, Australia, and the continent of Africa.
So which Americans conquered Africa?
You just not understand what I just said. I said the Europeans conquered America.
No. Wait, which Europeans conquered America?
You had the British and you had the Spaniards.
Wait, how did the British conquer America? How did the British conquer America when the British was against their subjects who came over here?
Never mind. Because I'm like, you know this history. And I think there was somebody else, too, I'm trying to remember. But I do know of those two of the European nations. Then you have Australia, and you have the continent of Africa.
Okay, sis. Well, it is 2:00. I'm gotta get ready for work. I appreciate the dialogue. A lot of it was, we had the war a little bit. We had peace, and then we had the war because peace without war, you don't know what peace is. War without peace, you don't know what war is. So we had both. Yeah, but we could talk for hours. We could go, but yeah, got to come to it's 2:00. We've been on for a little while now,
fine.
and I need to start getting freshened up for work.
Okay. Well, anytime you have questions and you want to,
because I got your email. So you know what we can do a part 2. I do have your email and I got your phone number, so I will stay in contact with you.
Okay.
All right. And it was a pleasure.
Shalom to you.
Shalom.
Okay.
Bye.
Oh my God, I'm about to go crazy talking to this woman, man. Oh my God, I'm trying to take it serious, but I can't. That's why my tolerance starts to like wither away. Using Bible words, wither away. Oh my God. Why? Okay. Okay. So, oh my God, man. Yeah. So my channel should be back up around 4:00. Yeah. The day thing is killing me, man. Like, yeah. The minute I knew, what's up with some of our sisters that's in this Israelite shit? First of all, let me explain this. You're never gonna get an Israelite woman that's in these One West camps to talk to you, right? Because that's not according to their order of that's not their the way they do things, right? So if you get a woman to talk to you, she's an Israelite, she's gonna always. This is the second one, by the way. This is the third one on my channel, period. Because remember, Cincinnati had went and got at one, right? Cussed her ass out. But I had one not too long ago, definitely the month of December, who had these dreams and visions, right? And this is the second woman. I'm telling you, when you talk to an Israelite woman, because you're never going to talk to one in a camp, they don't do that. But if you actually talk to an Israelite woman, they're going to always be spooked the fuck out. I should have asked her what hallucinogens that she take, like what hallucinated drugs does she take, mushrooms, whatever. But they're all spooked out. They believe God is talking. They all going to say God is talking to them, and they see visions. And I only could do but so much of that shit. Good founding father of American British. This lump white. See, the thing that I don't respect is that we're gonna lump white folks in Europeans, but when it comes to black folks, we're tribes and clans. No, because we're called black. When I said black, she rejected it, and she said, "No, we're clans and tribes." Okay, so but white people, Europeans. Wait a minute. So they're not clans and tribes as well? They're just one group that just look alike and talk alike? Like, no, the Russians look totally different than this over here. And this white person looks totally different. This one over here, they speak different. One is tall, one is short, one is fat. Nose, hair texture. The Russians can have some type of coily hair, like kind of rough, look like some black people hair. The Russians, from what I know, the Russians don't even see themselves as like white like the Germans, and the Germans don't see the Russians as white like themselves, and they look physically different. You dig? When you go to let's go to physical. When you go to boxing, the Russians are the best white people in boxing. They a little different than a Russian or a Portuguese person or a person like a Ricky Hatton. Those Ricky Hattons don't last long in boxing. But those Lomachenkos, those Klitschkos, they last a long time in boxing. You dig? So their physical makeup is totally different. But yeah, the woman's all over the place, man. Deuteronomy 28 shows us that nobody gonna want to buy us because they under the reason why nobody wanted to buy those people in Deuteronomy 28 because they were marked. They were marked as God's once chosen people, but now cursed. So who the hell? And you could go to the story of Job in the belly of the beast. I mean, the belly of the whale. They threw Job over the ship because they believed he was cursed. I can show you all day that nobody wants to be around a cursed people. They run from them. This is why they kill witches. They believe they're cursed. And people would have vexed with the devil in the Bible, in the stories. People don't want to be around them. Even barren women, okay? The Bible says all the women who are barren is because God shut up their womb. And when you're barren, you're seen as a disgrace amongst your people. So again, nobody wants to be a cursed person. You know, these women says, you'll take away my affliction. Oh my God, man. Do she fit the blessing? Yeah, she fit the curse, but don't fit the blessing. Oh my God. Ah, I'm about to pull my hair out, man. So I hit up a whole bunch of Israelites or IG. Okay. Let's see if a couple of them are supposed to be. Oh, he said 10 p.m. Oh my God. Okay, so I hit up a whole bunch of Israelites. A lot of them just didn't reply to me. About two did reply. Okay, so the Sakari Israelites want to have a discussion, but they want me to come on their platform as opposed to come to mine. When they've been on mine already and they had freedom to talk, they talked as much as possible. But again, like these are control freaks. Like these people, these religious nuts, they are control freaks. They want to be in control. I watch these guys debate, these Sakari guys debate, and all they do is cut people off. They tell you what you can answer, what you can't. They just control the narrative. And that's all of them, really. That's not just them. Captain, you see all of them do that. So that's why they hate to debate on Sinetta, because Sinetta is not going to allow them to do that. Sinetta is going to be in control of who says what and who you did. And you never talk as much as these guys. On my platform, you see, like she did most of the talking. I had to cut in and force my way to talk. Like, yo, when you believe you're right, when you believe you got the evidence on your side, you don't gotta do the most of the talking. You don't gotta dictate the pace, the tempo. You let them talk themselves to a rabbit hole, a pigeonhole, and then you get them like I did. You sick yourself on them. So once you start saying some dumb shit, I just like you do a dog. And I hopped all over her. Like we can't even get past Revelation. Now she's only invited because she had a video showing burnt brass. And what she didn't understand was she ignored the burning of the brass. She focused on the end result of the brass being burned and said, see, that's Israel. So our discussion was supposed to be about that. And you see, we never could talk about the brass being burned. Because she first said, I got her saying Revelations chapter 1, verse 14 is describing how Jesus looks. So I said, sis, you believe this is talking about a black man? Do you think this is what it's talking about? So I said the 7 candlesticks, and she went to Isaiah 14. I've never seen her prove that to me. Unless I look past it. I don't see her proving anything Isaiah with the 7 candlesticks. Look, we can even do this. We can do this. We can see it, Isaiah. See, here's the thing. I believe we're in Isaiah right now, by the way. Okay, so Isaiah. No, we're in Deuteronomy. Okay, so I'm going to go to Isaiah. And she said 7 candlesticks. So all I got to do is Control F and just type in 7. Okay, and let's see. It says 7 times. And that's cool. It says 7 times in Isaiah. Let's see if we're going to talk about some candlesticks or 7 eyes, some bullshit she was saying. Okay, so we got 70 years, 70 years, 70 years. Okay, so that's taking all the 7s. So, okay, so now we got, moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be the sevenfold as the light of 7 days. And so what the hell she talking about? The breakdown of Isaiah, the breakdown of the 7 is ahead. So I looked up 7, look up eyes. Some 7 eyes shit. Like, I don't even, let me go back there. Let me go back. I see something. Okay, hold on. This might be a cut. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne and lifted up his head, and his train filled the temple. Yes, I got it with the hand shit. Yeah, but the Lord hand will cover Moses. So you see the hand. See, he's a human. Oh, that same hand that the Egyptians used to keep Israel in bondage. So the Egyptians' physical hand kept Israel in bondage. Like, come on, sis. You are. That's why I keep going back to the comprehension thing. Like, this is more serious than what we think. This ain't just people just lying. These are people lying and they have a real comprehension problem. Case in point. Case in point. Case in point. Case in point. Let me show you what we're dealing with. When you debate these, and it's not just religious folks. It's certain Black people. It's all people really. But again, we're talking about Black, right? That's okay. Oh, all right. So I'll check out Sean's COVID debate. But gotta be careful, Sean. So apparently, look, they even know. Look how this works. This snitching stuff. So these people are using my videos. I didn't know. So YouTube gave me notification saying, "Yo, these people are using your videos." So the First Church, Daniel Roman, Tony Harvin, Truth Light, and tell you what percentage of the video. This is crazy. It said the video I got on my channel. It shows people are using 20%, 20%, or is this saying I'm using theirs? I don't know. No, it's me. It's them using my video because I could do something about it. See, I could request video chat. Or I could, yeah. See, it's me. This is my actions. I could do something about it. See, this shows the name of the video that used your content. So this is so I'm not gonna be able to share nobody video on my thing ever again. So I can request removal. Ain't that shit crazy? So I can't even get that off. So this is the copyright. So if you use content from anybody video, all they gotta do is just click copyright. And they could see the channels who are using their videos. And if I don't like one of these channels, I can complain. I can just complain. I can get it removed, the video deleted, or I can get their channel struck. Ain't that shit crazy? You could actually discriminate and say, now this person cool, that person cool, but this person right here, and this person, Tony Harvin, this guy, his channel, he's certified. And I can make his YouTube life hell. So this person uses 100% of my videos, so they play. That's me. That's me, Keeper Israel. So that's me. But this person's not me, and they use all of my video. Okay, 100%. These 20%, 20%, 20%, 10%. And that's a small 10%. I could just complain. Ain't that some shit, yo? And I only know about this because YouTube gave me the snitch notification. Like, yo, look what's going on. I'm like, oh shit. So everybody, so that whole fair use, that's some bullshit because they probably 20%. This is clearly fair use, 10% supreme fair use, and I could just remove their shit just like that. I was trying to tell somebody the other day. I said, nah, these people, that fair use needs nothing. They could get rid of this shit, and all you did was gone. You dig? Ain't that some crazy shit? So everybody who I use their video, they got a record of it. So when I share content, it will never be on Unbiased Sports ever again. I just can't take the risk. Okay, I can't show nobody shit. Like maybe Unc and these guys, the people I'm actually really cool with. That's it. Mujah, you know, Sean, Mossy Word Clan, Kofi, all these guys, True Storian, Born, like those guys. But if you're not one of them, like I just can't. They could just go to copyright and start clicking shit on Unbiased Sports and click. That's just unbelievable, yo. I see that shit today, like, wow. No wonder why you guys keep getting me. Okay, so I want y'all to see a case in point of why you need to understand what type of people you're dealing with. So I showed this yesterday. So thanks to you guys sending donations, I invested your money into premium. Well, now no more commercials. So I ain't all greedy. Let me get this money, buy coffee, get some holy liquor. No, I invest back in the channel. Okay, I got the notifications here. Let's see if that's a Hebrew Israelite. Want smoke? Scared guys. You guys don't want to debate. Okay, so anyway, listen.
First Samuel 1. It's in 1. It's First Samuel 1. Oh.
So now these people are for sure going to, you know what? Hey, before I play this, I'm gonna stop the live. So because what happens is if they see their content in my video, they can remove the entire video. So I don't want to remove that discussion with my sister. So I vowed to learn from my mistake. Because when I had those Israelites on for Sakari, we beat them up on John Ford, the Samaritan woman. That entire video was deleted because copyright stuff. So I vow when I have an interview or debate on a live stream, I must stop it so I can have that forever. So it cannot be deleted. That's my content, cannot be deleted. So I'm going to stop this live right now just to continue the live. Okay, that make any sense? I'm gonna stop the live. For one, I want to see if my channel's back up yet, because my channel will be back up between 2 and 4 o'clock. So I want to stop the live. Okay. Then I'm gonna go live again. So just come back. All right. So let me stop this live so I can have that interaction with the sister. So that cannot be deleted. So I'm gonna again, comprehension, folks. I'm gonna stop this live. I'm gonna start a new live. First, I'm gonna see if Unbiased Sports is back up. So give me like 3 minutes. I'm gonna see if Unbiased Sports is back up. If not, then I'm going to start from this channel again. All right. So let me go ahead and stop this live. Wait. Before I stop this live, in case there's somebody new here that don't have my original channel, this is a backup. This is a backup channel because my backup channel is suspended for the same shit. There's somebody saying unfair use. So here's, if anybody don't have my original channel, that's it right there. That's the original channel that I'm going on mainly. But if I'm going to share any videos, it will be this channel. I won't risk my other channel. I got 1 strike. They said the next strike, I'll be suspended for months, like 3 months, some crazy shit like that. That's what happened with the pseudo killers. Like they got suspended for 3 months. So and like they was going through it, or they got suspended for like 2 weeks, some crazy shit like that. But 2 weeks is 1 week is long as shit. You can imagine 2 weeks you can't go live. That's forever. And 3 months, kill yourself. All right, so let me stop the live and I'm gonna go live again and show you case in point of what we're dealing with when it comes to vaccines, any type of misinformation. Look at the comprehension level. Look at the literacy of people who were trying to convince or trying to debunk. Like you really got to speak through them. You got to speak through them and to the audience. You ain't going nowhere. You see her. She talk about being homeless, and she calls all this shit was just God's will. No, Ma, you're homeless because of certain actions. So let me stop this live, stop talking, stop this live, and go live again. So look out for the Unbiased channel first. If that